Hello everybody and welcome back to Esports Talk. My name is Caleb and it's once again time to talk about Apex Legends. In particular today we're talking about an issue that has been making the rounds recently but is an ongoing problem for the community. That is of course the Rampage and the Sentinel, two guns within Apex that, if you're unfamiliar, require a charge to reach their full potential. You have to expend thermite grenades and shield charges respectively to get the Rampage and the Sentinel to their max stacks, and they're supposed to have a cooldown. There's supposed to be a limited time duration that they're at this full power, but unfortunately due to this exploit that can be performed, I'm not going to say what it is, but due to this exploit it's possible to maintain that charge indefinitely and without expending these resources. Now this is something that's been addressed in part by Respawn, but as we'll be going into, it's not entirely fixed and it's still being used today in ranked lobbies even, and there's a lot of people upset about it. And taking a look at the footage of what these guns are capable of when they are fully charged, it's easy to see why.
No bubble, no bubble.
One shot, 88 flush right here, bro. Thank you.
I gotta get rid of the Rampage. It's literally broken, and I'm literally cheating with it. I know, right? I wish I could.
Now, like I said, Respawn hasn't been completely silent on this issue. In fact, back on December 16th, they released a patch that was supposed to fix the issue. And in a way, it did. It prevented the exploit from being performed as it was being done at that point. But it wasn't long thereafter before a workaround was found that allowed people to continuously use it. And this is considered cheating by a lot of people. At the very least, based on the fact that it was patched, it's not what Respawn intended, clearly, for these guns' use. And it's absolutely far more powerful than practically any other option in the game right now. Either you're using it or you're behind in a certain sense. And it's got a lot of people feeling very, very frustrated with the game right now and with Respawn's dev team. With pros and casual fans alike suffering under the tyrannical reign of the Rampage right now, despite the attempted fix, we got folks like Lulu on Twitter stating Apex really needs to start vaulting weapons until they're 100% fixed instead of ruining everyone's gaming experience with people abusing gun bugs every game. I wonder why this isn't a thing. We've also got Rogue, featured on the clip you saw, stating, "Nothing but charged up cheating Rampage/Sentinel cheaters and a ranked lead developer who probably won't change the system. Future looking tough." Though in response to criticism for the latter part of that statement, he did follow up by saying that while criticism is necessary, he's mostly feeling frustrated that the bug hasn't been fixed yet. While there's Apex fans willing to support the devs, Albralelie takes aim at a target with fewer fans, players using the exploit, as he calls for everyone using the exploit in ranks to be permabanned. While there's always going to be debate about where the line is drawn when it comes to exploits in competitive games, Respawn has attempted to stomp out this particular problem once already, and it stands to reason they'll be back to finish the job. The only question is when. As per the usual, it's pretty difficult to tell how easy or difficult it really is to solve these kinds of problems. I'm far from a game developer, and it's always difficult to tell whether or not a mechanical issue is for some reason tied up in the tangled mess of code that many projects can be that might make it more difficult than it seems to actually handle an issue. So who knows why it's taken so long for there to be a second patch? Who knows what Respawn is doing at this very moment? Who knows when we'll see a fix? But one way or another, the ongoing frustrations lend credence to criticisms like Lulu's and suggestions that maybe things should be taken off the table entirely until they function properly. But of course, there's pushback to that. There's other theories as to how this could be best handled, and there's opinions all over the place. And we will of course continue to keep an eye out for those. But for right now, I want to know what you folks think in the comments down below. Do you think that Lulu's suggestion that things should be taken off the table entirely should be adopted, not just here, but maybe this should be a feature in competitive games more often in general? We see this happen every so often. Maybe this should become standard practice, because this is certainly far from the first time we have heard of similar issues like this. We hear about things like this in a Warzone, in any kind of a competitive game. It can happen, and that is a potential fix. Do you have other suggestions for how you might like to see this handled? And in general, how do you feel about how Respawn is handling the situation? One way or another, if there are any updates, whether it's a new patch or just word out of Respawn, we'll be there to give you the coverage and let you know when potentially the end of this reign of terror might be in sight. But for right now, that's all we have. My name is Caleb. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.